But if I look at it right now, I'm like, dude, this is such an amazing journey.
Could you imagine not having this kid now?
No.
It's impossible, right? And so I think like that to she's crying.
No.
Yeah, but like, you know, when we have this kid, to me, remember this is before we actually thought about having a child. And for me, it was a lot of convincing on my part. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hisashiburi!
Hisashiburi da na.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. For any couple out there that wants to help figure out who's right or wrong, get a Ring camera.
Why bring that up?
How this lovely woman recollects things is so funny. It's just like my mom, and it frightens me. It frightens me so much.
It's because we're a mom.
No. So like, if you guys have been in like relationships, I feel like this is like the common trope between couples who have lasted for so long. It's usually between the guy and the girl recollects things through emotions, and the guy recollects things for how it actually is. And so
one day I'll get you.
No.
One day.
You know, for years, this is the only thing we really fight about. It's always like, did this happen or did it not happen? But now there's cameras, and then we go back to it, and she's like, not a, oh really? Dang, I didn't know that. More like this, This is her response, And I feel vindicated. I'm like, dude,
Look, people. It happens, okay? I will get you too one day. I keep crying every time I talk about it.
She's like, so guess what? Remember when you said it was a pen? Guess what? It was a pencil. That's what she's gonna get me on, because I'm pretty good at recollecting things. And I'm like, you know, when we had like a small little tiff earlier, I just thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I said it wrong. And then I go back to it. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Could you tell me what's the point of this conversation?
Anyways, guys, I just wanted to.
Yeah, you want to just blast it out.
Yeah, I feel great.
I did wrong.
I feel great.
Yeah.
You hear that? Get you a wife that knows when she's wrong. Listen, guys.
Just point my. There's Patty here.
You have a lot of anger. In the blood of Jesus Christ, I pray for you.
Thank you.
Normally, we obviously do this in studio. Ed's with me, or I have a guest, but hectic traveling, I kind of messed up the scheduling, and so Mariel is going to come in here for one episode and to fill in a spot, and we're doing it in the way that I would light it up and shoot on my camera. We don't have multiple angles, we just have the wide.
Oh, what? You blast me off like that, and then here I am helping you.
Shut up. So one of the things that I know a lot of people have been wondering, because we keep our life pretty private, right? Obviously the stories, when I tell you, it's like these fun, goofy stories. Those things aren't private because I'm always thinking about fun things to share with you guys, whether it's thoughts, current topics, or whatnot. But when it comes to my personal life with my family, my kids, and stuff like that, unless I have a purpose of teaching a lesson or it has humor or something like that, a majority of the stuff you guys aren't going to get too much insight on, especially when it comes to like being a parent and parenting. Like one of those things, like those things to me is very tricky, right? Because I think on this space, from what I've seen on Instagram, everybody has an answer for something. Whether it's right or wrong, somebody has an opinion about how you should raise your kids, and I never wanted to be a part of that pool because, and I've said this before on an Instagram post, you can do everything right with your kid and the kid could still come out fucked up. And I've seen it in my personal life, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it in your own personal lives with friends. And so I don't ever want to be in a position to judge another parent when they're trying their best. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like the last thing that you want to hear.
It's so much work, and it's hard to raise a baby. It's not even a toddler, it's a baby. So we don't know what's happening behind the scene of the parents, and I would never ever, after going through that experience, judge them without knowing.
Yeah, and we're not talking about like somebody leaves their kid in a car
No.
and then, you know, the kid dies or something. We're not talking about those extreme cases. I'm talking about like, oh, should I show my kid a screen? Screen, those type of things, there's no reason for me to get riled up about. There's things that we do, that we choose to do, and then we have other people who do the opposite. And I'm pretty sure that the kids are going to end up fine, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But we never know.
Yeah. It's just, I would love people to respect my privacy and how I take care of my child, and I will give 100% respect of how they do it.
Yeah, and like even sometimes with people I know, they go, oh, what are you doing? Like, I'll share, right? But then I think one of the things that I don't like, not the things that makes me upset, but more along the lines of, I wish they didn't have to do this. Riley, don't do it. That's my dog. This is not a dog space. Riley, go home. Stop playing. Go home. Get out of here.
Poor kid.
No. She wants to come on these couches so bad, but she cannot. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, they do these comparison things and they feel bad. Like, for example, I was talking to my friend about screen time stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, like we don't really care, like they could watch whatever. And they're like, what about you? And I'm like, I don't show my kid the screen, right? And he won't be seeing a screen like that for a while, for as long as I can help it, right? It doesn't mean that they're gonna, our kid is, obviously we talked about this, they're not gonna have movie time with mommy and dad. You know, when we go outside and there's a TV on, they could watch it, fine, whatever, as long as it's, you know, safe. We can't control those type of things, but we can control what happens in this house, right? And so that kind of put them in a spiral. I was like, oh, what should I do? It's like, I'm just talking about how it's like, if you want to know, I can. But they're like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, but then I'm so tired. It's like, I'm not judging you, dude. Like, you don't have to make excuses for what you're doing.
No, because everybody has their way of taking care of the kid. Just because you don't do screen time doesn't mean that you're doing a better job. It's just a different tactic. And I think, especially now I'm a working mom, I understand. Sometimes you don't have the brain capacity, so you want to put the kid.
Help.
Yeah, nor you don't have help. You just want the kid to have fun and be entertained.
And it gives you 20 minutes, 30 minutes of just a break.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
For us, we're very, very blessed. Like, my parents are close by. I have a huge supportive community here that comes through for us at any time. And, you know, it's the type of community that I always wanted to have a family around. I just didn't expect it to be so fast, right?
And then it happens so often too.
Yeah.
Like when I'm working and I hear people come in and out, and I'm just like, is this a house full of people? Like, and I come around, it's just so alive. Like, our kid brings so much joy to our community that I love it. I really enjoy that. And I'm really grateful that we have that kind of community.
Yeah, and it was hard for us to kind of, I don't know so much for her, right? Because for me, it was hard. And the reason why it was hard to leave Los Angeles was not because it wasn't the right thing to do. It was. It's closer to my parents. They could see the kid more often. You know, LA's a crazy place to raise a kid in the first place, right? And people might agree or disagree with that. Obviously, a lot of LA natives probably feel differently about that, but because I've lived in multiple cities, I can see kind of what LA breeds, right? You can find your healthy pockets, right? But we didn't live in one of those healthy pockets. We lived in the heart of LA, right?
Yeah.
So the transition was hard for me is because, mentally, when I went to Los Angeles, it was because I thought I was leaving something for something better. And if I ever left Los Angeles, it was the only reason why I would leave there is because I failed. And I had buried this thought in my head for so long, right? So leaving made me feel like I was giving up, right? But then I had to, I go on these long walks in the morning, when we were in Los Angeles. And I thought to myself, it was like, wait, what am I giving up? And I'm like, I've kind of done everything I wanted to do.
I think that's what it is that we have accomplished what we needed to do in LA, and our next goal doesn't have to be in LA. I think that's what really came around. And when we did move here, we were fine because what we needed is what is being provided here.
And everything is better here.
Better because where we are in our life.
100%. But even if not, right, it would have been fine either way, right? Let's say if we didn't have a kid and we lived here, I think it still would have been okay. Like, if we really thought about it for how much money that we were spending out there in terms of rent, food, everything else. And let's just say for you, right? You're like, I want a weekend in Los Angeles. You could have done that. You could have had fun 2-3 days with your friends, explored it in that type of way too, and you would have came back to a house.
Yeah, but I don't think this was ever in our agenda that we would have done it without the kid. I think this came out really because of the kid.
Yeah.
And fortunately, it's been a bless. I mean, I am very grateful for everybody.
It's been a bless or blast?
Bless.
It's been a
blast. It's been a blast.
Sometimes her Korean fob comes out. And let me tell you this, it's been a bless.
It's been a blast.
It's been a blast.
It's been a blast. It's been amazing. I mean, I would say every week I'm just so grateful is that there's just so much love coming around, and we wouldn't have this kind of support or opportunity.
Yeah. For those of you out there who, I find it very odd when people look at having children as like the end of their life, right? And I spoke about this on me and Tim's pod. This is before I told you guys that we were having a kid. Was people would come up to me and they would say, "Get ready, your life is over. Get ready, your life is over. Oh, good luck having a kid." Oh man, those and I just kind of thought about it. I was like, I don't.
Who says that?
I don't like these conversations, man.
No.
And I just, one of my buddy too, who I roasted pretty hard about it. It was just like, dude, you don't like your kid because you're a shitty dad. And I just went in on him. And I was just like, dude, you talk. I was like, every time you talk about your kids, you talk about them like they're a burden. And it's like, your kids feel that type of stuff. Even if you joke, they feel it.
Yeah.
And then, his wife was in the kitchen going, clearly she said this stuff to him before, right? And she's like,
yeah, I have no comment.
Yeah. I was like, you got to knock that off, man. It's like, I'm about to be a dad. You should be telling me the good stuff, man. I was like, I understand we're joking and stuff, but you've been doing it all night, and I don't want to hear this.
You know what's funny is that I used to think like that.
I know.
I used to think that my independent life will be over, which is true, but it's one of those things like, do you see your cup half full or half empty? And I saw it as half empty, as like my life as an independent woman is over, which is true. But if I look at it right now, I'm like, dude, this is such an amazing journey.
Could you imagine not having this kid now?
No.
It's impossible, right? And so I think like that to she's crying. No, but like, when we have this kid, to me, remember this is before we actually thought about having a child. And for me, it was a lot of convincing on my part to tell her, like, listen, your life isn't over. Like, it's just how I view it. And once again, if you don't view it this way, that's fine. Right? I'm just giving you my perspective on this. Every day felt like Groundhog's Day for me. It was the same. No matter what accomplishment I had, whether it was a new business, starting a new channel, a podcast, MMA stuff, whatever. It was a new notch in my belt that still felt the same as the first, second, third, or fourth one. And that's what acting felt like for me. That's what being in all these, film, TV, it all felt the same. And it just felt like a paycheck. So none of this mattered. For me, having a kid was like, I had this book, right, where I only read 25% of it, and I just kept reading that 25% over and over again. And when it came to chapter 5, I read chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But when it came to chapter 5, I would just turn the page and somehow I would go back to chapter 1, and I would start all over again. When we had the kid, the other part of that book opened up. And I'm like, holy shit, this is new. It's emotions, thoughts, and feelings that I never would have experienced if I didn't have our son. And it was like, holy crap. This is what I've been looking for. Not having just the kid in itself, but what the child represented. It was a whole new part of my life that I would have never tapped into. Imagine it like a game. You play the same game over and over and over. You keep leveling up, but it's the same stage over and over and over. And then it was like this secret stage that you never knew about. And you could access it, but you would have to forego going here again. I'm okay. Let me start this new level. And I think the part of being human that a lot of people sometimes confuse because we're in such a busy mode of like me, you also forget the part that when you give yourself to something, it's also giving back to you just as much. And I think that's the conversation that people don't want to have about having a kid, if you're prepared for it.
Yeah, I think that's the part, is that I think we will as prepared as possible. Like mentally, physically, financially, we were ready for this. And when I came around, I mean, it was a roller coaster. It wasn't all happy ever after. There were a lot of cries, a lot of ups and downs. But it's crazy to think that you kind of forget about that because your focus is on the kid, the family, the joy that he brings. And you want to maintain that. So like, we've never had so much laughs happening in the house between us. Just like something simple as him just smiling or giggling makes the day for us. And then like, if he can't go to the bathroom, it makes our heart so like, oh, it's just, you know, we crush.
It puts this weird perspective on time, right? I think there's this thing that happens to you as an adult where as you get older, you see time in the way your parents age. That's one. And the other part is when you have a kid, you see time in how fast they grow. And now with both my parents here and the kid, I see both of them simultaneously. And what happens with that for me anyways, is that I start to give even less fucks about so many things.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes.
When people, this is why, look, I was so already good at like cutting people out. I'm even better at it now. Not because I'm an asshole or anything. I know when somebody has ill intent towards me and I don't have time to figure it out, to put them on my side, to correct their behavior. It is not my responsibility. I just remove myself from it. Right?
I mean, more than people, I think it's just things that maybe that was on my mind that I cared about. I don't care. I don't care. It's all about, I mean, really, I feel like an old person to say this, but health.
Yeah.
Like everyone's health really matters, whether that's physically or mentally. And, you know, having boundaries is even more apparent now. And just really like just the main pillars that you need in order to just live a day successfully.
Yeah. And we have, you know, mutual friends too, where, you know, specifically even like some people in our lives where I have to remind them, it's like, you know, they'll ask me about how they should deal with people or certain things. And it's people who have consistently hurt them multiple times. And I always tell them the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, they've already shown their cards to you. And now that you have this family and this life and everything that you have here, this should be your priority. Like your family unit is your priority. Other people outside who try to destroy that is not your responsibility. And I think this is like a cycle that a lot of people go into, where sometimes when they see like a glimpse of goodness in somebody, they think that that makes up for their whole character. I have now figured out even more now that I take people for face value, right? There's a certain person that I cut out recently that you know of, right? And it's just because of how he behaves that I'm so tired of. And I had this, I wouldn't say it's a habit, but I had this thing of like, I would let my close friends bring in other friends. I'm done with that. And I always hated doing that, but I've been very lax about it. And I'll tell you this right now, all my problems that have happened because it's always because of that. It's not the people that I bring in. The people that I brought in have been vetted, right? Nobody that I have brought in has done that. But my close friends who don't vet as hard as I do, they have brought in these fucking garbage people, and I have to deal with them because I'm trying to be cordial with them. Now I don't even do that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, don't have time for it. Sorry, done.
In a way, I mean, for you, you've always been like that, but you just have it, like you mentioned, just like a more, what do you call it?
I'm just a lot more serious about it.
Yeah. A lot more firm about it.
Yeah, I just don't have time. Like even, like we have like friend groups and they're like, hey, we should do this, is that. I go, nope, I don't want to do it.
Well, even like friends time too. We don't have that much time like throughout the day because we're working, taking care of the kid, and you want to sleep too. So it's like there's only so much time in your life where you could utilize that with friends, and I think we've been very careful how we use that time now.
Yeah, like I think people are starting to get an understanding of me more and more, where at times it seems that I don't care and I'm very rude or off-putting. And it's not that I'm, no. It's not rude or off-putting, it's that people aren't used to people being honest. And what I mean by that is that, for example, this was a couple of days ago, I was on a DM. Somebody invites me out to an event and they're like, hey, you should come to this thing. There's going to be a lot of good industry people. And I just wrote back, I'm good. I don't really do industry stuff like that. But if you want to meet up after, let's do that. And like, oh, and you know, he wrote back. It's like, oh man, I didn't think I was gonna get rejected by you. I was like, rejected? What did you get rejected by? Right? He was like, just come through. I was like, no. I'm telling you, this is not a place that I'm comfortable at. So if you want to meet one-on-one, we can. But if people are drinking and all these other people there, and this event that this is happening, it's a lot of people I don't like, right? And that I don't think are good people. And I'm like, I think what other people do and how they respond is they'll do this. They'll go, yeah, I'll try and make it out. I'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Right? What is the fucking point? How come I can't say, hey, thanks for the invite, but it's not something that I want to do, so let's meet up after. People are so used to people saying things without meaning it that they sometimes think that that's the nice thing to do, but they don't show up, right? And I feel like in the busy cities, that's the thing to do. And I catch myself doing that sometimes because I got into this habit of like trying to do white lies. I'm tired. I just don't.
Well, I think white lies is still...
There's a place for it.
Yeah, there's a place for it. And you're right, because you know what's funny is that one of my friends in LA, she's not from LA. We started hanging out and it's like, oh yeah, let's meet up next time and like, you know, have lunch together. And it did happen. And we're actually good friends now. But she came around, she's like, I didn't know it would actually happen. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, people in LA, they like to say those kind of stuff, but it never really happened. Yeah. And I'm like, really? Because I'm a native LA. I don't do that. So I was just like, what? But I guess a lot of people in LA have those kind of experiences.
Yeah, and look, I do it too sometimes because I get so overwhelmed with things, I forget stuff, right? I'm not saying that it's okay.
How rude.
I'm not saying that it's okay, right? Like for example, I was supposed to hit up someone an email and I forgot to because we planned out seeing each other when I was in Los Angeles, but we planned that like 2 months ago.
You don't remember those? I put that on tab.
I didn't write it down, and so I completely forgot. And they're like, oh, did you forget about me? And I'm like,
yes.
fuck, I did. You know, and I was like, hey. So emailed, and I was like, sorry about that. I got really caught up. And you know, I've been so caught up in getting this house set up and ready. It has just been on my mind. So I have to own up to it and apologize. You know what I mean? And that's just, I think like, even that's hard for people. Right? It's okay to say you forgot.
Yeah.
Right? Just say that you forgot. You know?
I mean, sometimes when you say that, people could take it differently.
Yeah, I mean, how they take it is how they take it. It's perfectly fine.
I think that's the part that people don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, now I have to like explain myself.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things that you kind of learn about in terms of yourself and how important time is when you have a kid. And like how I speak to people is even more precise now because I don't want them to guess anymore, right? Like we have, you know, our friends where they're like, hey, when's our next huge trip that we're gonna do together? I'm like, never. I just say straight up, never.
Well, we'll see. I mean, right now we're in a place like that.
No, it's always a never for me. And it's just because I don't like doing huge group trips. It's not fun for me at all. It is never fun for me. You're trying to schedule all these people doing the same thing, which you can't do at the best restaurants, the best places. You can't do it in huge groups.
Yeah.
I'm not going to forego an experience because everybody wants to kick it together. We could kick it anywhere. It doesn't have to be on this trip that costs like $6,000.
I do have a hard time concentrating with the kid, like even just another parent with a kid come around. It's still hard because I'm so focused on the kid, and maybe because he's really young right now, but
oh, it's even
it's
more
tiring
difficult when they're older. I think when they're like running around.
Maybe, yeah, when they're having tantrums and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. It's like I don't know if I could do having 4 of those around.
Yeah. What would you say for you is like the biggest thing that has changed for you since having our son?
Oh, the biggest change? My God.
In you personally, whether it's an outlook on life, how you feel about things, your personal well-being?
I think the most thing that has changed that I'm focusing on is that one, my priority isn't me anymore, it's the kid. But I need to prioritize mental and physical health for myself in order to raise him properly. If I'm tired, if I'm cranky, it's gonna show. And I don't want him to see that. I want to make sure that he sees that mom is present when I'm engaging with him. Because the reality is that I do work throughout the week, so I don't get to see him much. And if I do see him, it's maybe for a few minutes. And when it's my time to see him, I want to make sure that I could be present.
Yeah.
I could be there, but I could be, dozing off or looking at my phone. And I don't want to do that because he will recognize that.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I am making sure that I am remembering, and also my boundary with work and life.
I think the hard part for me is that, the thing that cycles through my head every day is that my whole life and my career is on my phone and my computer, right? If I don't do this stuff, I don't make money, right? And it sucks because the kid sees that, and they kind of learn from that type of stuff. And so when I tell people like, hey, eventually like I'm probably gonna wean off of this space, I don't think it's gonna be YouTube, right? The YouTube is just a fun space for me. And I just made this video the other day where I'm kind of go back into like just creating just to create, who cares what the product is. But having to manage, customer service stuff, social media accounts, do all this other stuff, I don't want to do it anymore. It's too, it takes away from life from me. Like there are moments where I'm just, okay, I got to respond to this. And it's like 20 minutes later and I look up and our son's like, man, and I'm like, and he snaps me out of it. I'm like, okay, I lost 20 minutes, I mean, he's fine. He's like learning to play by himself, but it's just like, I just lost 20 minutes with him and I won't get it back, and it keeps happening.
And he's observing you. He's like, he's not thinking, oh, my dad's on the phone and not paying attention. He's just like, oh,
this is important.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it goes back to what we were talking about. It kind of puts time in perspective to you. And like I always say too, people plan out their lives as if everything is supposed to happen perfectly. You don't know when you're going to go. You could say, I'm 20, I'm young, I still have 60 years left before I can do X, Y, and Z. Says who? Says who? We don't have any of that.
That's another thing, is that where I don't want to hyper focus on things that may not be important. Like being perfectionist, like, people do all the research to make sure that the kid has like the best things.
It's so stressful.
First of all, it is stressful, because if it doesn't work out, you're just hurting yourself. The kid has no idea what you're doing. So it's one of those
like a plastic bottle.
It's like, but I gave you this Montessori toy, like you should play with this by now, but you're not, you're playing with this plastic toy. It's like, he's enjoying what he's doing. He likes the sound of it, he likes the feeling of it. I can let him do it.
Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp. It's all about that mental wealth. Listen, we've all done it before. Turning to our barista, hairdresser, or random stranger in the bathroom for life advice. As fun as they are to talk about with everyday topics, when you're looking for help about relationships, anxiety, depression, and other clinical issues, they may not have all the right answers, and instead get guidance from a credentialed therapist online with BetterHelp. Listen, I have been using therapy for a very long time, and it has helped me become better with their help. See what I did there? But listen, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps you identify your needs and preferences, and you're pretty much good to go. They're flexible. They have over 30,000 therapists, and they're super convenient too. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/genius. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/genius. But what we were talking about was basically like letting your kids like fail and letting them struggle a little bit. And trust me, it's not like it's hard. She knows I'm actually worse at it than she is. Like, I hate it, I hate it. I have anxiety. And so when I see my kid like struggling, or it hurts me, it physically hurts me. But I have to resist this urge to just do things for him, right? You just let him do it. Let him do it. And so it's just like, then I have to like train our parents. Like, hey.
Train your parents.
You basically, my mom's pretty good. She's pretty good.
Your mom, she's the polar opposite of your dad.
Yeah, they're like on the complete opposite spectrum. My dad's like hyper and super high anxiety, just worried about everything. And you hear it too. Like, you'll make a noise. What's wrong? Your stomach hurts? Did you cough? Did you fart? Is your eyes gonna explode? Or is your hair falling off? Jesus Christ, man.
He's very caring. He's willing to do everything for you. And your mom too. But your mom understands we could do it on our own.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting too, like for me, coming back home, this is the most time I've probably spent with my parents in a very long time, right? And we don't live that close to my parents. We're not back exactly in my hometown, we're adjacent to it, but it's like being around them this much, like I haven't spent this much time with them in the last like 13 years. And I've done the most of it in the last like few months, which is so insane.
Do you like that?
I like it.
Okay.
Especially now because they're different. They listen a lot better. And I'm actually relearning my parents as adults, and it's
as parents, as
a parent,
new parent too.
Right. So it gives me perspective on things, and it allows me to see some of their behaviors that are good and some of them are bad.
And they talk about things they've experienced when they had you.
Yeah, and also it helps me to kind of like put in perspective of like where my parents are at, like mentally as human beings. Like when I was trying to recently, I hurt my mom's feelings really bad, and it's not because of something I did differently. It's just how I normally am with her. Nothing changed. The only thing that has changed now is that there's a child in her life, and I think my mom was like faced with her mortality, which she hasn't ever been scared of. She has always said, I'm ready to die whenever. I don't care. I could die tomorrow. I'm happy. I'm okay. Now that this kid's around, she goes, I want to be around longer. And it has put like this, I wouldn't say fear, but this goal in her life that is limited by how much time she has left. And so, you know, when she was picking up our son, I said things out of concern for her, right? Where I was like, hey, you're old, like be careful, right? She took it as, you don't think I could take care of this kid because I'm old, right? Like I'm not useful anymore. And, you know, she went home the next day and she came back and she called me up and she was, you know, she went off on me and I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Right? And she was like, you're trying to make a fool out of me. I didn't even lift him up that high, all this other stuff. And I'm like, hold on, what are you talking about? I was like, it's on the Ring camera. You saw it.
You see this Ring camera again.
But what it turned out to be, it wasn't because she took it, and what she said to me, she goes, I'm trying my best, and I just feel like you just, you know, she doesn't explain how she feels normally. She usually she just gets mad, but she never explains it. And I just told her, why? I just got to ask her, why? Why? And she goes, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, nope, you cannot hang up the phone. You need to tell me why. And she goes, I'm trying my best. And then you called me old. I was like, Mom, I'm not saying that because I'm worried about our son. Our son's young. My son's young. You lift him up, you fall over, he's not going to die. You hurt your back, you injure yourself, it's a long period of time for you to heal. You're not young anymore. My job as your son is to worry about you too. It's not just my son. I'm also concerned about you. You are also priority. And I think for her, she took it as, you don't think I can help anymore. Like I'm useless. And it wasn't that.
Maybe you could phrase it differently.
Well, no, 100%. Remember, we've talked to each other like this our whole lives. But now that this kid is in this picture, she's 10 times more sensitive. So now
it means different.
It means different. So now I don't do that anymore. I still joke with her, but I'm very careful about the things that I joke about with her now because it hurts her differently.
Because it's not a joke anymore, it's more
reality.
Reality. Because she probably said all those stuff knowing that my sons are doing well now, they're, you know, successful adults, but now there's this kid. It's like, well, no, I don't want to leave. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but she wants to stick around longer. Yeah,
and I want her to stick around for a very long time too. And like I said, you all will see time and people differently once you have a kid.
You know, I had this dream when I have a kid that my aunts, because when I was growing up, my aunts were always around. I have a lot of aunts. And I was hoping the same thing would happen when I have my kid, only to find out that, well, all my aunts are much older than my mom. So they did come around, but they're so much older, so it's a lot harder for them to help, not even help, but like come around first of all, and then also like hold him because he's heavy or he's fragile. So it was like a unfortunate moment for me knowing that
Yeah, and I think for me too, and you know, at the time, like I don't think you understood it as well because you were so apprehensive about having a kid at the time. 4 years ago, I wanted to have a kid because I was very cognizant of how old my parents are, right? Obviously, COVID happened and it threw the whole plan out the window, you know? But the reason why when I said I was ready to have a kid, it wasn't just because I personally was ready. I just knew my parents are older than yours, right? And so it's like, if we wanted the help and we wanted this like ideal thing where we could have them around longer to see this kid grow up, that was also the reason why I was like, okay, at this age, I wanted to have a kid, you know? But obviously things didn't happen the way that it did. But I did think about that a lot. I was like, at what role can my parents play if we had this kid when I'm super old and they're old, right? It would be very different. It's not as active. So that was the other concern. So like, you know, if you're younger out there, let's say, I mean younger, like your early 30s, and you want to push your kid, having a kid out, like you know that you want a kid, but you're pushing it out because you have X amount of things that you want to accomplish, that's never going to happen.
Or saying like, oh, maybe we'll just wait. It was like, might as well, I've heard this phrase, like, might as well just wait for a few more years. It's like, I mean, if someone asked me, would I want to have a kid at this time or earlier? I mean, it would have been nice to be earlier, but I think it happened at a good time for us.
Yeah.
But for those who are, you know, older and they're thinking about it, it's like, might as well give it a try now because you just don't know if there's going to be any complications.
Yeah, if you want to have a kid and the reason why you're pushing it back is because you feel like once you have a kid, your life is over, you're wrong. You are wrong.
Yes, it is. I learned that that is not the case.
It's
a different chapter, and there's so much. You know what the thing is that when my friends see me after, you know, having my baby, they ask like, wow, you seem really happy. Like you have a lot of energy. I'm like, I don't, but I do at the same time because the kid gives me so much joy. And do I feel like my life has ended? No, I think it's different. Yeah, and I have a new purpose, and this purpose is really fun every day because it's just changing all the time.
And I can't wait to like travel with him. You know, like before it was like, oh, it's different when you travel with a kid. And I was like, you're right. I want to travel with him. Like I want him to come around and be with us.
Yeah, I do too. I'm so worried about that. It's just the whole process of it.
I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah, because you're the dad. I'm the mom here.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, but you know, small trips first. You know, doesn't have to be huge ones. You know, Hawaii first maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a long trip too.
You know, we can always go to Hawaii first. Start it off there, hang out over there, and then see what happens after.
Yeah.
You know. But anyways, guys, that wraps up this podcast. I know it's not the typical ones that you normally see, but it was a very fun conversation. Thank you for my last-minute replacement co-host. Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. This is for all you guys out there that was wondering what, you know, parenting has been like for us. There's a lot of thoughts. It was kind of jumbled, but Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. We'll see you all next time. I'm creating more YouTube videos as you guys saw previous to this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Love you very much. Bye.
Bye.